Hello and welcome to another maths lesson. Today we're going to learn how to find the equation of a straight line. Okay, our learning objective, the first learning objective that we're going to learn is how to find a gradient and intercept, and then we're going to use the gradient and intercept to get an equation of the line. So let's start. Okay, what is a line? I got here a line drawn. So this is a line, a straight line. And if you see, the line has got lots of points. For example, this is a point of a line. This is a point of a line. This is another one. But there's one which is very special, and that is where it crosses the y-axis. So this point here. This point has got a special name. We call it intercept. Okay? So that point there, we call it intercept. This is the intercept. So in this line, we can easily write down that the intercept of this line, which is simply where your line crosses the y-axis, intercept or y-intercept, equals to 2. We take the y-coordinate. So that point has got 0 and y, but we are going to take the y-coordinates, which is 2. Now there's another number that we need so that we can make an equation, and that's the gradient. And the gradient is, if you take one step to the left, if you take, for example, one step into horizontal, how many steps your graph is going up. So for example, if I take this one step, the graph goes one step. If I take those 2 steps there, the graph moves 2 steps up. So our gradient now is 1, 1, which simply means 1. So the gradient equals to 1 step up, 1 step right, and that gives you 1. So we got gradient 1 and intercept of 1. If you still remember from our linear equation course, we say that the general formula for linear equation is always y equals mx plus c, where m is the gradient, yeah, and c is the intercept. So that's what we say. Do we know both of them? Yes, in this case we know both of them. So our equation will be y equals gradient is 1, so 1x just the x, our intercept is 2. So we found the equation of that blue line. It says your line intercepts y with the point 0, 2, that's where the 2 come from. And it has got a gradient of 1, which simply means every one step in the horizontal, if you take one step in the horizontal direction, your graph will go up by 1. So if you want to cut your graph and you take one step this way, you need to take one step up. This is how you find a symbol, the equation of a simple line. The two numbers, the two golden numbers that you need to get is the y-intercept and the gradient. And as you will see throughout this course, we're going to show, we're going to use those two numbers whenever we wanted to get an equation of a line. Now, I got here another example. This is another one, slightly different than the other one. Okay, so that's the line. Fine. Again, the line passes lots of points. But again, 2 points are important. 1 point is very important, and that's this point. So if you look there, the intercept now is -2. Our graph cross the y-axis, so that's y-intercept is -2. Now let's see what the gradient is. Again, if I take one step this side, I need to take one step up. So gradient now is each one step you take horizontally, you need to take one step up. So 1, 1 again, which is simply 1. So the gradient is 1. What's the formula? The formula is y equals mx plus c. What's our m? Our m is just 1, so let's write down x, and what's our c is -2. So that is the equation of this line now. Y equals x minus 2. And if you want to check, you can easily do it if you want it. For example, and any point you take here must be a point of this graph. For example, if you take that point and y is 6, so you fill 6, x is 8, so you got 6 here, and here you got 8 take away 2, so 6 equals 6, so that's a point of your line. This is how you find the equation of a line by using the intercept and the gradient. Okay, I go here two questions for you to try. You can stop the video and try. I think you have done, so let's do it together. First one first, this graph, what's the intercept? Intercept is 4. So our y-intercept, that's where you start. You find your y-intercept, which is this time, equals to 4. 0, 4, so we take the y-coordinates. Can we find the gradient? Now, if I take one step this side, if I take one step in the horizontal direction, this side, I need to take 2 steps up. So the gradient now, symbol here, each one step you take horizontal, you need to take 2 steps up. So gradient is 2. What's our equation? Well, the equation was y equals mx plus c. And because it was y equals mx plus c, our m now, which the gradient is 2. So it becomes 2x. And what is the c? C is the intercept, which is 4. So that's how you find the equation of this line. I go here another one. Let's do the same analysis here as well. So y-intercept to start with. Y-intercept is 2. Doesn't matter if the graph goes that way or this way. What's your gradient? Now it gets very interesting. Now, if I start from this point, for example, and I go this way, one step, I need to go 2 down to catch my graph. So every one step which I take horizontal, I need to take 2 down. 2 down simply means minus 2. Okay, that ended up the gradient of minus 2. So what is your equation now? My equation is y equals mx plus c. Do we know the m, which is the gradient? Yes, we do. And that's minus 2x. And what is c? C is 2. That's the y-intercept. So this is the equation. We find the equation again. So actually this is how you find the equation of a line when the line is drawn. Okay? So that's how you find it. You find the y, you read the y-intercept from the graph, and you try to find your gradient by taking one step to the horizontal direction, and how many steps you need to go up to catch your graph. Okay? Now, we're going to look at another side, another angle. And the angle we're going to look now is find equation of a line without drawing the graph. So you got an information, and use that information to find your equation of a line. For example, example 1 here says, find the equation of the line with the intercept of 5 and the gradient of 2. So this, everything is ready. So you're going to write down intercept, which is c in our case. Intercept is 5. I'm going to write down gradient is minus 2. Gradient is minus 2. What was the general equation? Y equals mx plus c. What the m stands for? The gradient. What is our gradient? Minus 2. And the c is what? Intercept. So in this way you get your graph, your equation. You didn't draw any graph. Use the information given. The intercept. Okay, so let us see this example B now. The second example. It says find the equation of the line that passes through the point 0, 4 and has a gradient of minus 2. Now, we know the gradient is minus 2, but do we know the intercept? Yes, we know the intercept because it says 0, 4 simply means that is where your line actually in and cross the y-axis. If the x-coordinate is 0, if the x-coordinate is 0 and the y-coordinate is 4, that's where your graph crosses the y-axis. So the intercept we can read from there. Okay, so it gives you intercept equals to 4 and gradient equals minus 2. The general equation is mx plus c. Okay, so that gives you minus 2x plus 4. Okay, this is another example. Find the equation of a line that passes through this point and has gradient of 3. Now it gets very interesting now. What I got here, find the equation of a line that passes through this point. So this is not an intercept and has the gradient. Let me start with the general equation as we were doing throughout the example. So that gives you equals mx plus c. And that's a technique that you need to learn. Do I know m? Yes, I know m. Fill that m here. That's what you need to start with. So m is given, is 3x, but I don't know c. So that's the first step. After this, we don't know the intercept, but we got an information here which we haven't used that passes through this point. 2 is the x coordinate and the 3 is y coordinate, and the line pass. Let us fill those two coordinates here. Substitute y with 3 because that's 3, and substitute x with 2. And then you got an equation with c. Solve for c. That gives you 3 minus 6 equals c. Let me complete in here. And that gives you minus 3 is your c. So we find c now. Let us take it and put where it belongs to. So our equation was 3x plus c, but the c is now minus 3. So that is the equation. Let me go through what I have done. So find the equation of the line that passes through the point 2, 3 and has a gradient of 3. I write down the general equation and I ask myself, what information do I have already? Now we have the gradient which is 3, so we fill it in here. We don't have a c, but there's here information, extra information that we can use it. This is a point that the line goes through. The line passes through this point. What's the y coordinate? Is 3. So when I reach this point and I cannot find a c, I'm going to use this information to find my c. So I'm going to substitute y with the 3 and x with the 2, and then I got an equation with c, and I'm going to solve for c, which is 3 times 2 is 6. When you take to the other side, it becomes minus 3 minus 6 equals c. This is how you need to do it. Okay, now I got here 4 questions for you to try. You can stop the video and try again. Fine, I think you have tried, so let's do it together. Find the equation of the line with the intercept is 0 and the gradient 4. Nothing new. Your intercept, let's write down this time c is 0, and m, which is the gradient, is minus 5. What is the general equation? Y equals mx plus c. Do we know m? Yes, we do. What is it? Minus 5x. Do we know c? Yes, we do. What is it? 0. What is the equation now? Minus 5x. So it's a line that goes through the origin. And example B, find the equation of the line that passes through this point. Again, this point here is intercept. So our c, we can read from there because 0 minus 5 is where you graph cross the y-axis. And then your m is this time 3. Put them together, y equals mx plus c. What is the m? M is minus 5, so that gives you minus 5x plus 3. And example C, find the equation of the line which passes with intercept of this and passes through this point. Do I know C? Yes, I know C, that's minus 2. Do I know M? No, I don't know M, so M is a question mark. But I got another information there. So let's see how we can use that information. We're going to write down the general equation, which is mx plus c. Mx plus c. Okay, I know c, so I'm going to substitute c with minus 2. I don't know m, so I can't write down anything in m. Y equals mx minus 2. Now, when I reach this point, I'm going back to the equation and see if there's any information which I haven't used. So we didn't use this information which says 3, 2. 3 is x and 2 is y. So let's use that one. Fill y with 0, because that's what it is. And fill x with 3, because that's what it is. Minus 2. You get equation with x, solve it. So you're going to do 0 minus, you're going to see, let me complete in here. So you're going to say 0 minus plus 2, when you take to the other side, it becomes plus 2 equals 3m. That's where you go. And finally, you got 2 equals 3m. So what I done here, m times that, m times 3 is 3m. There was 0. I take 2 to the other side, it becomes 2. Okay, now we need to get m, so we need to divide this by 3. So that's our m. M can be fraction. What it tells you is, when you need to take 3 steps to the left to be able to take 2 steps up. So let's put that in our equation and then we complete it. Our equation will be 2/3 x minus 2. Okay. Find the equation of the line that passes through this point and passes through that point. Now this gives us the intercept. So we know our intercept C is 3. Do we know our gradient? No, we don't know. M is question mark. It looks like this one now, so everything is straightforward. You write down y equals mx plus c. What is y? Y is 6, so let's fill 6 there. m, we're also trying to find it. Here is 2, and here is 3. Solve it for m, you got 6, take away 3, equals 2m. And what's that? That gives you 2m equals 3. And finally, m is 3 divided by 2. The job's done. So our equation is y equals 3 divided by 2x plus c, which is 3. This is the equation. Okay, y equals 3 over 2x plus 3. Okay, I think this is all about solving linear equations, finding the equation of a line. And there's a worksheet that goes with this lesson. Make sure that you complete the worksheet and make sure that you use the answer sheet to mark your work. And thank you very much for watching this, and see you in another interesting lesson.